Thank you, Avinash. Here's what's happening in the region. Jamaica's Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, has rejected calls for paternity leave legislation, stating that he's not in support of such a policy at this time. Recently, People's National Party President Dr. Peter Phillips declared that the next government his party forms will legislate paternity leave. However, the Justice Minister, according to the Jamaica Observer, said too often mothers are left alone to take care of children while the fathers have to be taken to family court for child support. In a subsequent Twitter post, Chuck said he's in support of paternal responsibility, where fathers are urged to live up to their responsibility. The Jamaican minister further argued that fathers should be encouraged to be at the birth of their child and take responsibility for the child when born. Police in San Fernando, Trinidad and Tobago are investigating the murder of a 22-year-old man who was found dead by a 10-year-old girl Thursday morning. Dead is Ezekiel Daniel. The Express reported that he was shot to the head. Residents told police they heard the gunshots at around 8:30 p.m. Wednesday. Trinidad police said that Daniel had been previously charged twice for the offense of robbery. His killing took Trinidad and Tobago's murder toll to 411 so far this year. And still in Trinidad and Tobago, Pastor Glenn Awang, the founder of Transformed Life Ministry and Rehabilitation Center in Aroka, where 69 people were rescued from cages, says Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith got it wrong. Awang, who lives on the compound of the center with his wife, said he is not a monster and denied that he was ever involved in human trafficking or that his facility was a slave house. In fact, he believes the raid on the center may have been because he has the state in court for non-payment of 1.4 million TT dollars. The Express reported that the pastor, who is an ex-prisoner, said since opening his facility in 2000, he has helped thousands of people, including ex-prisoners, street dwellers, the drug addicted, and mentally ill. The pastor said some clients were kept in seclusion rooms and not cages as being reported. He said in June this year, the Ministry of Health inspected the rehabilitation center and recommended that he upgrade a few things, which he is still doing. On the international scene, Iranian women have attended a World Cup qualifier in Tehran after being freely allowed to enter a stadium for a men's match for the first time in decades. Women have effectively been banned from stadiums when men are playing since just after the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The BBC reported that the change followed the death of a fan who set herself alight after being arrested for trying to attend a match. But Amnesty International described the move on Thursday as a cynical publicity stunt. The NGO said that there were only a token number of tickets for female fans, as it called for all restrictions on female attendance to be lifted. More than 3,500 women bought tickets to Thursday's World Cup qualifier against Cambodia, where they were granted access to a special women's-only section of the Azadi Stadium. The stadium has a capacity of about 78,000. The U.S. Treasury has imposed sanctions against the Gupta family and an associate over alleged corruption in South Africa. The sanctions were triggered at brothers Atul, Ajay, and Rajesh Gupta and South African businessman Salim Issa. The BBC reported that they are accused of using their friendship with Jacob Zuma, South Africa's former president, to profit financially and influence ministerial appointments. They have denied any wrongdoing. Mr. Zuma, who was forced to resign as president in February 2018, has faced allegations he oversaw a web of corruption while in office. He was replaced by his then deputy Cyril Ramaphosa, who promised to tackle corruption in South Africa. In a statement, South Africa's Department of Justice said the sanctions will ensure the accused are prohibited from conducting any business in the U.S. or with any American company worldwide. The Guptas have fled South Africa and are said to be living in Dubai. Heavy fighting is reported in northern Syria on the second day of a Turkish offensive into Kurdish-held areas. Turkey says it has seized a number of designated targets and killed dozens of Kurdish militants. The BBC reported that tens of thousands of people are reported to be fleeing their homes, and Kurds report several civilian deaths. Turkey says it wants to create a safe zone cleared of Kurdish militias, which will also house some of the millions of Syrian refugees it hosts. The long-planned Turkish offensive began after President Donald Trump withdrew U.S. troops from the area, which has been held by the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces. The SDF has been key U.S. allies in the battle against the Islamic State group, but Turkey regards their dominant Kurdish militias as terrorists. The offensive has drawn international condemnation. The UN Security Council is due to discuss it on Thursday at the request of its current 5 EU members, the UK, France, Germany, Belgium, and Poland. One major concern for the international community is the fate of thousands of suspected ISIS prisoners, including many foreign nationals, being guarded by Kurdish-led forces in the region. And that brings us to the end of regional international headlines. Back to you, Avinash.